My female 33, older sister, female 36, passed away a month ago because of cancer. It's devastating, and words can't express how we feel. Her husband struggled to pay off debts and has asked my husband and me to take him and my nieces, young teen and teen, in for some time. I have to say that I'm not on good terms with him. We've had more than our fair share of disagreements in the past. He sued my husband and me for my own mother's house, which I'm living in with my husband and daughter, but he claimed he needed money to pay for my sister's treatment, and this was the only way to get it after we, my brother and I, refused to help. It's a long story, but we're not on good terms. I agreed to only take my nieces in, but not him. He tried to negotiate this, saying his daughters were grieving and needed him, their remaining parent, to be around. I said he could see them during visits, and that was it. My husband agreed with me at first. However, my brother-in-law showed up with my nieces days ago, and I only let the girls in, but turned him away after he tried to talk me into letting him stay. We had a huge argument, and the girls went inside crying after their dad left, repeatedly saying they wanted him. My husband is backing out of this, saying we might be making a mistake separating the girls from their dad when they're grieving. My aunt scolded me, saying I messed up entirely here. I argued that it's my home, and I don't feel comfortable with him staying after what he's done. She called me selfish and bitter, and said I'm making it more difficult for the girls who had just lost their mom. Now the girls are quiet, but my older niece keeps arguing about wanting her dad with them. My husband still thinks we're making a mistake and getting the girls to resent me for what I did to their dad who's grieving. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. While it stinks that you can't be 100% supportive of the girls, it's his fault you have to protect yourself. He sued once. He could try to squat if he starts living there and establishes residency. If another family's upset, they can take him in. Once he moves in, he's a tenant and you can't force him out. Then you're even more of a perceived jerk for making them homeless if it becomes intolerable. He didn't abide by your terms, but showed up on your doorstep with no plan except to beg you, even though you told him what you could agree to. He said okay, but then tried to make it suit him. All these relatives could take him in or support him, right? So why is it all on you? Your brother-in-law is presumably in his mid to late 30s and only sought help from you. Is it all on one estranged sister-in-law? If your relatives wanted to help, they could send him money and help him get on his feet, rather than come after you to take on a family. Agree. It's OP's choice to help out or not. I do not see why she should let someone hostile to her life in the same house. It's already a lot that she offered to take in the girls, while she didn't have to. Yeah, it's her sister's kids, but honestly, not everybody would do that in the same situation. He must find another arrangement if he wants to stay with the kids. He's the parent, not OP. Also, doesn't he have any family? So why are they not helping? It's suspicious. He tried to steal your house from you. He tried to sue you and make you homeless. You've already had altercations with him. There's no guarantee he won't try to steal something again. Who stole from who? OP is living in their mom's house. She hasn't sold the house. And it sounds like she didn't pay her sister for her share of the home either. They desperately needed money for her cancer treatment, and it led to him suing her for her share, it sounds like. You are the idiot. Did he sue you over the house because it's his wife's inheritance or not? It was their mom's house, but she was the only one living there. So did she buy out her sister's portion of the home? 'Cause I have a sneaky suspicion that's why there's a lawsuit. The sister needed her half of the inheritance for her cancer treatment, and she refused to sell the home and refused to pay her out of her half, which she's entitled to. My 26 female, wedding is in 3 months. Both of my sisters, Sadie 29, Olivia 20, are in my wedding party. My wedding will be elegant and big, as the groom and I have a lot of friends and family, and we've always dreamt of an extravagant wedding. I have a good relationship with both sisters. However, my younger sister, Olivia, has made the process a bit difficult as a bridesmaid. I chose a light dusty pink for the color of the bridesmaids' dresses and let the girls pick what style they wanted. Immediately, Olivia says that she feels insecure as she's so pale and the dress will make her look red. I suggested a spray tan, as the color of the dresses has already been set in stone to match the rest of my wedding, but she said absolutely not. Fair. I didn't hear anything else about the dresses, but now I'm in a predicament with her again, and I'm not sure if I've made a mistake by making such a big deal of this. Olivia regularly highlighted her dark brown hair with blonde for years, but decided about a year ago to grow it out and let it get more healthy, meaning no dye. A month or so in, her hair didn't look terrible, more like a balayage, but now we're around the year mark, and her roots are straight up brown, and there's a straight line, no blending, of blonde hair for the last 8 inches of her hair. Olivia has insisted she has her hair down during the wedding. However, I don't want her roots and hair on full display during pictures, the ceremony, and throughout the night. I love my sister and respect what she wants to do with her hair. However, her hair is an eyesore, and I've never seen anyone let their hair look like this for this long. I told her I would pay for anything she wanted to be done to it, as long as her roots were at least a bit blended for the wedding. She says she doesn't want to put any more chemicals on it and is leaving it, and I won't change her mind. I told my hairdresser about Olivia's POV. We go to the same hairdresser, and she told me that there are plenty of things she can do for her that can make her hair look blended and still be healthy. Unfortunately, Olivia still refuses, despite my offer to pay for her and our hairdresser saying she could make subtle changes and preserve her hair. I should add that her hair is not breaking or fried. She just wanted a break from dyeing it to get it as healthy as she could and grow it. This day is one of the most important in my life, and having someone in my wedding party with unkept roots is something I don't want. I'm not asking her to cut or change the color, just blending and transitioning the colors. She's irritated because my other sister and mother have told her that she should change it for the sake of not ruining pictures. Am I the idiot here? You are the idiot. Nobody cares about this except you. The guests don't care if a bridesmaid has two-toned hair. The wedding pictures will end up in an album that sits out and gets glanced through every couple of years, maybe, or hanging in dusty frames in various family homes. If it's a big wedding, by your 10th anniversary, you won't even remember the names of all your guests or why they were invited. Enjoy your extravagant wedding, but don't be the bride who tries to change the way her friends and family look to make them better for pictures. That behavior is far worse than the sight of anyone's roots. Look, OP, to be completely honest, if your wedding pictures are the most important thing in your life, to the point where someone else's hair color is going to bother you enough to fight about it, you really need to reevaluate your life priorities. It simply, truly does not matter that much. Well, you'll get called a bridezilla big time on here, but with a sigh, I'm going to say no idiots here. You're having a formal wedding and want nice pictures. It's not her wedding, but it is her hair, and she doesn't want to change it, and you aren't siblings and don't want to give in to each other. If I were her, I would just wear it up, but in my opinion, she's not going to accommodate you in any way, so act accordingly. There's always Photoshop, but just for the couple's pictures. In a few years, Olivia can look back on her copy pictures and realize how bad her hair looks and how selfish she is. And before everyone attacks me, I usually am very anti-bridezilla, but for my sister, I would make a sacrifice of using a temporary dye or putting my hair up. My son, Ali, is a senior and on ASB. They organized a homecoming pep rally scheduled for this Friday, and they've been prepping for a long time. There's a dance routine and a teacher versus student basketball game. Last week, Ali tripped over a chair during the night and tore a ligament in his ankle. He can't participate in the rally. They can't continue with the program as planned with my son out. They tried. The teacher in charge asked other seniors if they wanted to take my son's spot, but they declined because they didn't want to look stupid doing a dance routine with 4 days prepped. That's when my younger son, Brian, said he wished he could take his brother's place. I thought about that and realized it was a good idea. He does a lot of gymnastics and picks up on choreography quickly. I talked with Ali, who wasn't sure. I spoke to the teacher, who asked my son to do some of the choreography, and he impressed her. She said she would talk to the other students about Brian taking the spot of Ali. The students thought the idea was fun and agreed to it. My son would actually be paired with Ali's girlfriend. The teacher told me that the rally is scheduled towards the end of the day on Friday, so Brian would have to miss 3 classes, 2 for prep and 1 for the rally. I spoke to 2 teachers and they were fine with it. Whatever work they do on Friday can be made up on Monday. The 3rd teacher, language arts, said she wasn't okay with his skipping class to go to a rally at the high school. That's not a valid excuse to miss class, so she won't let him make up a test that she was going to schedule. He'd have to get a 0. I told her that it's not like he's skipping school to go to the park. If 2 teachers and the high school are okay with it, why can't she be? She said she doesn't play favorites. I told her it's not playing favorites, it's being reasonable. Would she just have me lie? She said of course not, but that's her rule. So I said we'll leave it at that. I decided it wasn't worth this much drama, and my son getting a 0 in a test in the 6th grade wasn't going to ruin his life. I could be a dad idiot and go over her head, but I won't. She emailed me today and asked if I decided if my son would skip class and go to the high school rally. I replied that he was skipping class because he had a doctor's appointment, so he'll make the test up per her rules. What's she gonna do? Leave class to see if he's dancing in the rally? LOL. You are the idiot. The teacher had a test assigned for that day, hence why the other 2 teachers allowed it has no bearing on whether the 3rd teacher was unreasonable. Making up classwork or homework is less intensive than trying to schedule a makeup test date and time. All you did was teach your kid that it's okay to lie to get what you want and make other people's lives more difficult for your gain. He will certainly not be able to repeat that test, and if she can, she will fail him for the year. You are an idiot and a crappy parent, teaching your son bad ethics. He should take the 0 grade for it if it's that important. Do you think that teacher is stupid? How could she fail to get evidence? There are teachers. If she calls them as witnesses, they'll certainly not lie before the school board and lose their job over it. Disagree. As a teacher, it's pretty easy to schedule a makeup test. I'm a teacher, done it plenty of times, and it was not own personal gain. Brian will probably enjoy it, but the rest of the group will also get to do the thing they've been prepping for ages, and the rest of the school gets the benefit of the performance. So Brian is doing it for the benefit of others, not just himself. My mother was the kind of parent who would make me go to school no matter what, and more than 10 years later, I still get annoyed thinking about it. 1 test in 6th grade is not a big deal. OP, you should have gone to the principal first, not the teachers. I'm just about positive the principal would have given it the green light, not the idiot, except for the lying part. Yesterday was my 28th female parents' 25th wedding anniversary. Because it's a golden year for them, they had planned a special dinner at a lovely restaurant and invited everyone in the family, including my wife, 27, and me, about a month in advance. Initially, despite my wife just giving birth to our twins a month before the invite, we decided that we'd just get a babysitter so that we could attend. However, my wife's mother passed this past Tuesday, and although we knew that cancer was making her very ill and that this day would soon come, my mother-in-law's death still shook my wife's world. It was just her and her mom growing up, and they were the closest you could get. So it's safe to say that my wife has had one heck of a week, dealing with her mother's passing, making arrangements, and raising and nursing 2 infants. So on Thursday, I informed my parents of the unfortunate tragedy and told them how hard my wife was taking it. I apologized and told them that I didn't think we could make it because my wife didn't have it in her to go out. At this point, my wife couldn't even open her eyes without crying. They did the usual, "Oh, we wish you could both be here," but assured me that they understood and wished my wife healing. I went to drop off their gift Friday morning, and nothing but well wishes were said to me when I went. However, yesterday night I received 3 voicemails from my mom crying, saying how she couldn't believe that I chose my wife over them, and how she was disappointed, and if that was the case, then she didn't want to be in the lives of mine, my wife's, or our kids. This shocked me in all aspects, and I tried to get a better understanding of what was going on. But whenever I tried to call my parents, I was met with hostility and negative comments. I love my parents, but I love my wife more. My wife is my other half and she needs me. To me, staying with my wife and caring for our children was the right call in that situation. Was I wrong to have assumed that that was the right thing to do? Not the idiot at all. Had your mother had too much to drink or something when she called? Or your mom gaslights you or something? I do wonder why the sudden switch up though. Maybe someone got in their heads. It seems like an extreme reaction to missing out on a party and a dinner, even if it is their golden year. She didn't sound like she was drinking. Initially, I thought my brother had said something to get her upset about it, because my younger brother has done that a lot. For some reason, he likes to instigate things, but I don't know if that's what happened for sure. Your parents have been married a long time, no doubt because they prioritized their spouse's needs and came together in times of crisis. They should appreciate that you're following their example and call it an anniversary gift. Honestly, the parents seemed fairly callous to even plan an anniversary party this close to when the babies were due. So why not wait a month or two? OP, please don't play your mom's childish games and try to reason with her. Instead, give her complete silence and make her come crawling back to you apologizing. Her behavior is unacceptable, and you and your wife and kids don't need someone in your life who says such hurtful things. Time for her to learn that her words do matter. I, 21 female, am currently 7 months pregnant with a girl. I'm engaged to the baby's father, but he's pretty much left the naming to me and is fine with the name that I've picked. Now I could try and tell a story about how it's my great-grandma's name, but it isn't. I like Stevie Nicks. I like her music, and honestly, I don't know why the name Stevie for a girl just seems really cool. It stands out to me, and I was like, I could totally see that being my baby's name. It's cool and I like it. Those are my reasons. I probably wouldn't call my son it, so I don't know why it sticks out so much to me as a girl's name. I think of other girls' names and they don't make me think of my daughter, but she hasn't even been born yet. I like the name Eleanor too, but my partner says it reminds him of a grandma, so that's been ruled out. Anyway, I told my family and they think I'd be an idiot because Stevie's a boy's name, even though Stevie Nicks is a woman, and that she'd get bullied, and I'm conflicted, but I love the name. My mother is going as far as to try and find a feminine nickname, Sally, and I'd lose it if she called my daughter Sally, because I hate that name. No offense to anyone who knows or is a Sally. I don't think that it's truly awful out of all the names out there. We've decided on a pretty traditional middle name, Grace, but I don't think it'd sound right the other way around if she grew up and went by her middle name. I wouldn't be hurt, but it's not necessary for her to grow upset with it as her name. Stevie Nicks is a nickname. Her real name is Stephanie. Stevie Wonder's real name is Steveland. I think you're not the idiot. It might be nice, however, if you gave her an actual first name, then let her decide as she grows up if she likes the nickname. Everyone is doing gender-neutral names these days, and has anyone ever mistaken Cameron Diaz for a man? Yeah, no. There's nothing wrong with the name Stevie for a girl. If you love it and your partner's okay with it, you should use it. Screw what anyone else thinks. It's not their kid. Also, it's way better than a normal name with a creative spelling like Ashley. The problem with this is that the family will never call her Stevie. I wanted to name my son Alexander and call him Xander, but even before he was born, people called him Alex, and there's nothing wrong with him. It's just not the name I chose, so I named him Xander. I say stick to the name you've chosen, OP. The family will grow to love it.